Alright folks, if you watch my channel, you guys know how TV shows work. If a TV show is on the air long enough, it eventually jumps the shark. So it looks like I'm going to jump the shark today and cover a TV guide from the 2000s. This one, there was a few shows I liked in the early 2000s. Hopefully we'll see some of those in here, but yeah, I don't know what to expect from this TV guide. This one's from September of 2001. Let's go ahead and jump into it and see if this jumping of the shark is going to be a good idea or a bad idea. Here's the guys from Band of Brothers. You guys remember that? A dude from Office Space was in it. Really good HBO miniseries, although I don't know if I would like it if I watched it now. Here's Buffy over there, looking awesome. Yeah, I mainly cover 80s, 70s TV guides. So there's definitely going to be some shows in here that I've never talked about, such as Buffy. September 2001, what were you guys watching? And obviously the format of this one's going to be a little different than what I'm used to. So I might make some comments about that in terms of how TV Guide evolved in the 2000s or whatever. Probably hard to see. That's a pretty cool Simpsons toy there. And there's Aaliyah. She always wore like sunglasses and stuff, so you may not recognize her without like sunglasses. The dude from Scrubs, I liked that show at the time. Yeah, this is already kind of a snapshot into the early 2000s because we got Dave Navarro and Carmen Electra. Any Carmen Electra fans out there? Remember when she was on Baywatch? Oh, yeah, that dude was on Crossing Jordan. That's the dude, I think he was in RoboCop. Played a great jerk. I was going to say, I think he got blown away by RoboCop, but I think everybody did in that movie. Which is one of the things that made it an awesome movie. Yeah, here they're doing a whole write-up on... I could do a long rant on this, but I won't. I just remember it as being pretty good, and I'll leave it at that. Did they try to make a follow-up that was like the Pacific Theater, and it was pretty lame? Or were those just those Clint Eastwood movies that I'm thinking of that were also incredibly lame? Check out Alicia Keys, looking awesome right here. Looking super cool. I don't know why they're talking about Johnny. Oh, they're doing a PBS, 50 Years of Johnny Carson or something. I don't know. Something's going on here. I don't linger on all these articles because, you know, there's a lot to cover, and we mainly want to see, you know, what the shows were, what the lineups were like on a given night in whatever year it is that we're going through. What's going on here? Some stupid reality show, I think. The Mole. Oh God, who remembers that? I don't think I ever watched that one, but I was guilty of watching like Survivor and some of those, so I was as guilty as anybody. Junkyard Wars. Wow, they're going all in with these lousy reality shows, some of them we never heard of, like Junkyard Wars. Can we move on to something interesting, please? Looks like that Robot Chicken show or something with the making fun of everything, I guess. Spy Kids. We're getting some snapshots of the time, if nothing else, and hopefully you all remember some of this. She's got poise. Check out that old TV guide right there. That's probably can barely see it on camera. All right. Joe Theismann, I think. Connie Chung pretending to be a serious news person. Becker, who remembers Becker? I kind of like that show. Kind of like to go back and revisit it. Remember it had the lady from Deep Space Nine on it? Who remembers her name? I don't. We're in the full-blown steroid season in baseball. We still are. But it definitely came around in the late 90s. Alright, we'll get to some listings soon, I hope. This is a trip, though, because this is different than the ones we've seen. Look at all these channels. Let's linger on this just a moment. Because we got Stars, we got, you know, VH1. Not too many that we haven't heard of. ESPN, got ESPN2. Alright. I'm guessing these are the ones that they will list in the TV guide, even though there were more. I don't see the E channel there. I thought I saw it, but... Oh yeah, they do have the E channel. Yeah, so here's some more. Alright, let's get into it. Yeah, this one's got quite a few ads in it, so it might make turning the pages a little harder than usual. Alright, Saturday morning, 2001. What's going on? We got something called Saturday Early Show. Kids Talk Sports. Blues Clues. I think that definitely caught on. Some cartoon called Oswald. Yeah, there's tons of listings here. This is different than the ones I've gone through. Look at all these listings for all these cable channels. Hopefully there will be some ads that we can linger on. Got a cartoon called Recess. Digimon. Yeah, just tons of stuff that I don't want to linger on too many. Metabots. I don't remember that one. Lizzie McGuire. There you go. I'm sure some people watched that. It was pretty popular for a few years, I think. Dora the Explorer. So yeah, I guess not your typical like 70s and 80s where you had all your good cartoons, more of a mix, you know, with Lizzie McGuire, some various different things. This is probably when they kind of gave up on cartoons. And now they got those unwatchable cartoons on like Nickelodeon and stuff. Looks like they still had NBA The Inside Stuff coming on. Once Jordan retired, I kind of stopped. I lost interest. U.S. Olympic gold in 2001. I don't know what that would be. Maybe a look back. Saturday during the day, kind of not, it hasn't changed that much. You know, you got your sports, you got your reruns, you got your syndicated stuff. Looks like we got some college football going on. Cinemax is showing Pee-wee's Big Adventure. TNN's showing Star Trek: The Voyage Home. I think that's the one where they like swam with the whales. Spock was like in his tighty whities, swimming with the whales or something. Alright, so yeah, check out this grid isn't much bigger than the ones from like the late 80s and the 90s. But let's see what's going on prime time. Oh, it is different. Sorry. So they got so many channels now that this is 8 to 10, and this is another whole set of channels from 8 to 11. So yeah, this is different. One set of channels, another set of channels for the prime time. Let's do a quick scan and see if anything catches our eye. Touched by an Angel. Very popular show. Looks like the Miss America pageant. Cops. To be announced. And then Back to the Future. So yeah, not a lot considering all the channels. I'm going to scan these other channels real quickly. Rap City Top 10. Rap would have been pretty much unlistenable by early 90s. Rap was when it peaked. Then the gangster rap came in and destroyed it. Just checking what else might be on. Because, yeah, there were like FX had some original shows. I think TNN or TNT had some original shows. So there probably is some stuff to look for. So I am going to linger a little longer than I normally do on these primetime ones. I won't linger too long, though. Yeah, FX is just showing baseball, which is interesting. MTV still showing videos in 2001. All right, let's keep going. Oh, here we go. Miss America. Wonder if this is the one where this girl from... This was around the time when that girl from South Carolina went up there and just... her brain froze. I just remember the famous, like such as... It's ridiculous, though, because they ask them, like, all these serious questions and stuff. Yeah, there's Touched by an Angel, very beloved show. I don't think I've ever seen one episode of it. I'm a Highway to Heaven guy myself. Here we go. I don't remember this one. We'll check this out. Road Trip with Tom Green. Let's see what this says. Citizen Baines. So this must not have lasted very long. Series premiere. From the producers of ER. Senator Elliot and his daughters have different dreams and values. She kind of looks familiar. That's the dude. He always plays the dude in all the movies. Kind of a good villain. I don't really know or care about his name. He's kind of an unlikable character, but he's been in a lot of movies. We'll try to see who else is on it. 8 o'clock. Do we already pass 8? Yeah, let's try to see who else might have been on it. I don't see it. Yeah, for some reason this is the 8 o'clock, and for some reason I don't see the listing for that. Maybe it's right in front of my face and I just don't see it. I vaguely remember this. The coach guy. Yeah, I watched this a few times. It was decent, you know. It was a typical law and order type show or whatever. Wasn't anything too memorable. Some jazz documentary. Part 9 of 10. I don't know if I've ever seen that. PBS. I mean, 10 episodes on jazz. That'd be pretty in-depth, man. Oh boy, there's that guy. Sorry, folks. I'm going to give my real straight takes. And obviously, we're kind of having fun, but never been a fan of that dude. Alright, Saturday night. Let's see if we can spot Saturday Night Live. There's so many listings that it is a little different. The Pretender. Anybody remember that show? That was a pretty solid show. The Pretender. Where is all this stuff? Where's SNL? There we go. Sean Hayes. Music guest Shaggy. Yeah, this was that pretty, it's a pretty good era. Saturday Night Live, you know, had some good eras, and now it's all bad. But this is when they had like Jimmy Fallon, Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey. You know, it was a pretty good era. Tracy Morgan. I would argue that was the last good era of SNL. That's my opinion. Soul Train. Yeah, like I said, the music had kind of gone around the bend by the 2000s. Look at this doll. That's wild. How much does this thing cost? How much are they asking you to pony up for this thing? $110 for this guy, as far as I can tell. Because then they got this Betty Boop thing. Let's keep going here. All right, Sunday morning. Probably not a lot. I'll try to scan for something. Something that might bring back the 2001 era. Little Bill cartoon. Malibu, California. Kind of rings a bell. Donovan McNabb show. He has his own show. Wow. I think there's a funny clip of McNabb talking about NASCAR and how all you do is turn left or something. I think there's a funny clip. If you Google Donovan McNabb and NASCAR, I think it's like a funny little viral thing. Check this out. This is going two-page. They're going two-page with the prime time on Sunday night. I guess to get 7 o'clock in there. That's pretty interesting. Let's see what we got. Moulin Rouge. Who remembers that movie? All right, let's see what's coming on Sunday night. They're showing The Mask, The Practice. Who remembers The Practice? Looks like it's a 2-hour episode for some reason. Maybe it's a season premiere. Education of Mac Bitford. It's another show that probably didn't catch on. The Weakest Link, that one of the many reality shows. Star Trek Voyager. Jamie Foxx, that sitcom. Let's see what else. Emmy Awards. Jeez. I wonder if McNabb was still playing in 2001. He might have been. Just seeing if any of those like FX or any of those memorable shows are coming on. FX is just busting a bunch of MASH episodes. Check that ad out. It's a pretty cool ad. I'm not a Pixar guy, but maybe you all are. Here we go. It's a pretty good ad. I mean, not those geezers, but this Rush Hour ad's cool. Any Jackie Chan fans out there? This looks interesting. Oh, Attica prison riot. I don't know. Are they going to tell the true story or not? You know. Education of Max Bitford. Oh wow, Richard Dreyfuss had his own show debut. Dreyfuss stars as an abrasive yet impassioned history professor. Jeez. He had that Mr. Holland's Opus. It almost sounds like that. It's also got Marcia Gay Harden. So some pretty good actors. I don't remember that at all. I guess I wasn't paying close attention to TV. Yeah, here's The Practice. Pretty solid show. Definitely some good actors on there. I remember her. I remember all the chicks. Now this guy was obviously kind of became big, and so did she. This is coming on at 9. Maybe we'll try to spot what their names were because I don't remember. It's weird. I remember all the 80s names. Yeah, there's that guy. His show was so popular, I still don't get it. I even tried to watch it. The Practice, 6th season opener. Wow, so Practice had already been on for 5 seasons in 2001. I didn't realize that. Dylan Baker, I guess, is the guy's name. They don't say all the other names. Last brickmaker in America. Sidney Poitier. Okay. Nikki. First season concludes as Nikki's younger brother arrives in town. I don't know what that is. Any Nikki fans out there? All right, this will be Sunday night. There's a few shows from the early 2000s. I hope we see them in here, but if we don't, then I guess I won't mention them because I don't want to just talk about random stuff. We'll talk about what's in this particular one at this particular year. It's Monday morning. Probably not tons on in the morning to talk about. Clifford the Big Red Dog. Little Rascals. Buzz Lightyear cartoon. Seventh Heaven. Dragon Tales cartoon. During the day on Monday. Some children's show called Zoom. Clueless. Remember that Clueless sitcom? The spinoff from the movie? Pretty solid. It had Stacey Dash in it. Any Stacey Dash fans out there? Why aren't you if you say no? All right, let's go Monday night. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That was probably at the height of its popularity around that time. People were crazy about that show. King of Queens was my favorite. Still is. One of the best written sitcoms ever. Yes, dear, that rings a bell. Then there's that Raymond show. Oh, Ellen, I guess, had a sitcom in 2001. Gee whiz. Family Law, that rings a bell too. Weakest Link. Third Watch was a solid show, in my opinion. And then Crossing Jordan with Jill Hennessy. The Hughleys, One-on-One, The Parkers, Girlfriends. Solid bunch of shows right there. Girlfriends was pretty good. Let's see what's coming on cable. I'll try to scan it quickly here. There's definitely some shows. Yeah, Ally McBeal's coming on FX. I think it originally aired on Fox, so I don't know why it would be coming on FX. And then The Practice, which we just talked about. Alright, well, it is what it is. Nash Bridges, who remembers that show? With Don Johnson and Cheech. Buffy. Buffy was great. Here we go, it's a great ad. So yeah, I remember that episode. That was a funny episode. Yesteryear, yeah, that was a strange show. Two schlubs and then two like really cute girls. I mean, I know that's kind of the same thing with King of Queens, but I don't know why every comedy became that. And I think Becker was good. That's just my take, but I thought Becker was good. Kind of a dark, pessimistic sense of humor, but kind of a good show in my opinion, a good cast. She wasn't on it regularly. It looks like she was just guest starring. Thing at the Wall around this time, because they really became popular around this time. Third Watch. Yeah, that's the show I was talking about. I think it was like medics and cops. But yeah, I thought it was a good cast and a pretty solid, for that kind of show. It was like your weekly cops, crime, paramedics helping out. Yeah, this guy was pretty popular because of that Practice show. Yeah, so this is a season opener for King of Queens, so it looks like a lot of shows were premiering this week. Oh yeah, Tony Danza, was he always on there? Yeah, I vaguely remember this show. And then I don't know what's going on here. Backstory, Maya Breck, the untold story behind the movie. Maybe that's interesting. Yeah, there's Jill Hennessy. It might be hard to see because it's a pretty small picture, but she was solving all the mysteries on Crossing Jordan. This is Monday night, late night. Spin City, Just Shoot Me. Those would be like late 90s shows, but you know, Amy Brenneman's gonna be on David Letterman, judging Amy. You guys remember all these shows? This will be Tuesday during the day. It's probably not much to see. All right, Tuesday night. Let's see if we can spot any other. Yeah, there's Judging Amy. I already called it out. Let's see what else though. Dharma and Greg. Spin City's a full hour. And something called Philly. Jag. Who remembers Jag? With what's her name? Oh, shoot. I'll think of it maybe. The Guardian. I think I'll talk about that. I think I saw. Yeah, I think there's an ad for The Guardian. Maybe there's not. Yeah, there's Guardian judging Amy. Pretty solid lineup. That 70s show is definitely huge, right around 2000, 2001. Meryl. Frasier still on the air. People love that Frasier show. I don't get that one. Let's see what else is on. Looks like the BET Awards are on. Yeah, looks like FX is just showing a bunch of reruns. I don't know. Maybe the FX stuff premiered like in October or something. All right. Yeah, there's Jag with Catherine Bell. That's the name I was trying to remember. Come on, you guys remember Catherine Bell. It's about the only reason to tune into that show. I think she's like a Scientologist, though. Sorry to sort of ruin it for you. Yeah, there's that 70s show. I didn't really care for that show, but it was fun, I guess. I don't know. And I don't think this Undeclared caught on, because I don't remember that. I think that's that Seth Rogen dude. Looks like Griffey. Was he? What? I don't know. I don't have time to read that. But it kind of looks like Griffey, but it's a Phillies uniform, so it can't be right. A Meryl new series? Jeez, get real. And this Three Sisters show with nobody I necessarily recognize. But Dharma and Greg was big. That 70s show was big. What about Joan? Man, yeah, like I said, I think this was premiere season, and they were throwing everything at the wall with some of these shows. I mean, I like her. What's her name's sister, but I don't know if she can carry her own show. What on earth? I mean, obviously, he was on Spin City. That was a pretty good, pretty popular show, but what's going on over here? Did this dude actually have his own show? This Costanza guy? Bob Patterson? I vaguely remember that. I mean, they got that other comedian, which is a funny dude too, but we know that bombed. Rightfully so. Frasier, he's got all these women. For some reason, he's got Lilith and Diane and two other women. here we go. Yeah, now we can talk about this show. I really like this show. It only lasted, I think, 2 seasons. His character was kind of slightly unlikable because he was very like a distant person. I just thought it had a good dissonance. So I really like this show, The Guardian. I recommend it, but it's not for everybody because you probably either hate him or love him. Or I didn't really love him, but I thought it was a cool character. And there was other people on there. It was a pretty good cast. Anyway, looks like this was the new drama. So yeah, I dug that show. Check out Kim Delaney. She got her own show. Yeah, she was great on NYPD Blue, but she can't carry her own show. Unlike Amy Brenneman, she can carry her own show, folks. This was a pretty popular show for a couple years. Amy Brenneman from Heat and Elsewhere. Who remembers her in Heat? Come on, y'all. Yeah, Tuesday night. We're seeing a bunch of early 2000s stuff. Bringing back some cobwebbed memories for me. I think I blocked the 2000s out of my brain. This will be Wednesday during the day. This Week in Baseball is still on. That's cool. There's that. There's another schlub show, but according to Jim, the girl from Melrose, I think. Courtney Thorne Smith? I don't know. Oh, was this the, what if I have an ad for that? Otherwise, I'll roast it right now. Okay, they're going to have an ad, so I can roast it then. And this is coming from a Star Trek fan. All right, Wednesday night. We're getting through this pretty quickly. My Wife and Kids. I think that was Damon Wayans. Drew Carey. Amazing Race. Wolf Lake. That rings a bell. Simpsons. My Wife and Kids. Oh, Lost. Oh, that Lost show was on. West Wing was well liked. Law and Order. Man, I could go on some serious tangents right here, and I probably will. I might have to go on tangents on all those, but that's what you're here for. You don't just want me to just read this stuff. You want me to give you some spicy takes. So Enterprise looks like this might be the premiere. Yeah, I'll come back to this if I don't see the ads, because I'm going to roast some of these. It's just what it is. We're just having fun, folks. None of this is too serious. Yeah, FX doesn't show anything. All right. Mad TV's on. If we don't see all those, we'll come back. I'm definitely going to roast Lost, if nothing else. Yeah, there's a Wife and Kids. There's our girl we love from... I think she was on Melrose, but she's got to hang out with a schlub. I like him, but come on. And Drew Carey, he was never my cup of tea, but he was well loved, and that was a pretty good, well loved show. The Finish Line, come on, we know this thing never got to the finish line. So I never fell for this, but people went crazy for Lost, and I heard them in the gym talking about it. People went crazy for this. I knew it was a scam the whole way. That dude J.J. Abrams, who is a scam himself, doesn't know how to write. They had a popular show, and then they realized, oh, we got to stretch this into another season and another season. And I knew all along, okay, they have no idea where they're going with this, because they got to keep all these bizarre clues dangling that don't really connect. So people got cons. People spent like 6 years of their life watching that show. So let's do the roast of Enterprise. Actually, I don't have much to roast on this other than Next Generation was great. Deep Space Nine was really good. I really liked Voyager. And then they tried this where it was like set before the original Star Trek. You can see their spacesuits almost look like Apollo mission stuff. It just didn't quite work. I like the Klingon lady. I didn't care for Scott Bakula or whatever. But it just didn't quite work. It wasn't bad. But let's be honest, that was low tier. I mean, except for the things they're doing now, which are like 1,000 times worse. But Enterprise, yeah, it just didn't live up. It was kind of the end of that era. I think I've done a Law and Order rant before, but West Wing, incredibly popular show. Yeah, here we go. We'll do a West Wing roast also. Who let the dogs out? Oh, Law and Order. All right. Yeah, I did like her as the assistant DA. And then there's a guy, the bobblehead guy. If you watch episodes, that guy can't say a line of dialogue without bobbling his head. West Wing, I don't know. It was another insanely popular show. Yeah, I better not get into it, but it was okay. It was kind of too clever for its own good. The guy who wrote it is a really talented writer, but he's I don't know. It was alright, but people love that show. And it was solid, but it was kind of a romanticized vision of what our political leaders should be. Like, this would never exist in real life. And when you're fantasizing about that, you're kind of painting a false reality. It's like wish casting or something. I barely remember this with our guy, Lou Diamond Phillips. I'm interested in who she is. Yeah, it says a new series. I guess it didn't take off, but I think it was okay. I think some people liked it. Yeah, and it's one thing I've noticed about this one versus the ones I've used, the TV guys I've gone through before. They don't do as good a job as telling you all the like supporting actors and stuff. Maybe because they don't have as much space to do. So I don't know who that is. I'd have to go IMDb it. And I just might. All right, so we mostly roasted Lost because Enterprise wasn't bad. Lost was a joke and a con game. And everything J.J. Abrams does is a joke and a con game, if you haven't noticed by now. No exceptions to that. His destruction of Star Trek was also a con. All right, Thursday night. Whose Line Is It Anyway? People love that show. It was like improv comedy, which to me is just not funny. Again, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It might have been on twice a week because it was so popular. CSI. Definitely when you think of the 2000s, you think of CSI with Bill Watterson. The Agency rings a bell. Friends is still on, I guess. Inside Schwartz, Will and Grace. Just Shoot Me, ER. It's a pretty strong lineup. Charmed, there we go. Charmed was crushing it in the early 2000s. Pretty good show. Not my cup of tea with all the monsters, but obviously you got Alyssa Milano, so come on now. Let's see what else. NYPD Blue, I think I've done a deep dive on that on another episode or another video I did. All right. There's Inside Schwartz. Yeah, we know that didn't catch on. This dude's not going to carry a whole half hour. This guy. People love Friends. I don't think I've ever seen one episode of Friends, thankfully. Yeah, there's Helgenberger and Bill Watterson. The Trauma Begins. I wonder if this was the first episode ever. Because as you all know, it spun off. They had CSI Miami and stuff. Yeah, I don't think this one caught on. I don't recognize any of them. I recognize her and her. A lot of those dudes I don't recognize. Inside Schwartz. Let's read the write-up. Oh, it's a super short write-up. We gotta read the whole close-up, which I'm not gonna do. It's a good ad here. Will and Grace. Yeah, this was a pretty darn popular show around that time. ER. Oh boy. All right, that's Thursday. King of the Hill's on. Yeah, there was one other channel I forgot to look for. Give me one moment here. Yeah, like Sci-Fi Channel has Farscape. I probably forgot to look for it, so I won't waste too much time. There's definitely one show that I kind of think about, but I don't see it in here. All right, we'll keep it moving. Can't see them all in one episode, I guess. Yeah, we got the TV Guide channel, so people would, there was really, honestly, there wasn't really much reason to buy TV Guides in the 2000s because of that, because that was super useful and you could just pop it on at any time, which I guess we all have that now. All right, Friday night. Let's see what's on. The Mole 2, I think that's another reality show. Thieves, that doesn't ring a bell. Neither does Once and Again. Ellen's on again. That's Life. Dark Angel, there we go. I hope there's an ad for it. If not, I'll do a quick deep dive on Dark Angel. I'll do a shallow dive on it. Pasadena, that rings a bell. Providence. See, I keep saying it, but a lot of these ring a bell. SVU. I liked the, what was it called? Criminal Intent was my favorite one. But anyway, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. All right, we'll jump back to this, but we'll look for some. I think hopefully there'll be some ads, and if not, maybe we'll try to identify some of these shows. There's that reality show. Jeez. Oh, this guy had his own show. Daniel Stern. Come on. I could tell you that was going to be a bomb. Now, anything with Dana Delaney, here we go. Here we go, folks. So I have to admit, I never watched Pasadena. I probably didn't realize Dana Delaney was on there. Come on now. Some other faces that are kind of recognizable, but not like big stars. Here we go, though. Great show. Jim Cameron, Jessica Alba at her peak. How could you not watch this? Those of you that know that the first season of this was really good, and then they jumped the shark and brought on like Dog Boy, and it destroyed the show. But the first season is great. She's out there trying to help people. So it had a kind of a heart to it, as well as like fun sci-fi. So Dark Angel, first season is great. Second season will be hard to get through, even if you love the first season. But our girls, Jessica Alba, we got Dana Delaney on the right, Jessica on the left. Yeah, Providence. Okay, I do remember this with what's her name? She's got a long Greek last name. That's a pretty popular show. And then we got SVU. Yeah, I don't know what the plot of Providence was. Dale Jarrett. Oh my God. Look at this. John Stamos. Jeez, this almost looks like a joke. Even the ad does. And it probably was a joke, let's be honest. Alright, here's That's Life. Yeah, that doesn't really ring a bell. This may not have caught on either. Wait a minute, this is an actual weekly show? This isn't just a movie? Huh. Oh my gosh. I think she's been on other stuff. Let's take one quick look back. I think we covered most of it, because I think it was the Providence and some of these others that I was not sure what they were. Let's see, the Mole, Thieves. Yeah, Thieves is those people scaling up the side of a wall. Alright, we saw a lot of good stuff from the early 2000s. You didn't see everything I was going to look for, but we saw a lot. We saw Dark Angel. We saw The Guardian. Alright, let's check out the premium channel movies and see what kind of ratings they gave. They really liked American Beauty, which is a good movie. Backstage, The Astronaut's Wife. Was that the one with, yeah, Johnny Depp? They gave 1 star. That's great. Most Johnny Depp movies deserve 1 star. They didn't like The Best Man. Interesting. They loved the Boomer movie, The Big Chill, but they didn't like The Best Man. And they didn't like Big Trouble in Little China. So yeah, these TV Guide ratings are pretty hilarious just for that reason. Obviously, some of this is up to your taste, but come on. Big Trouble in Little China, all-time classic comedy. Comedy/adventure, whatever you want to rate it as. They like Body Heat okay. That's a good movie. Good thriller, I guess you'd call it. Catch Me If You Can. Interesting they didn't... Oh, that's a different one. That's not the one with Tom Hanks. Cruel Intentions with Buffy. Right? No, that's Cruel Intentions 2. But yeah, the first one was pretty good. It's basically Dangerous Liaisons with like a new updated twist or whatever. We'll just look at these because it brings back the memories of some of these movies, like Galaxy Quest, which I think is pretty well loved. I thought it was a good movie. Full Metal Jacket. Ghost Dog. Great movie. I need to rewatch that. Ghost Dog is a great movie. So unique. So check it out. If it's not your cup of tea, don't watch it. But I really dug it. I need to go back and watch it. High Fidelity. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They liked it. Ice Pirates. Who remembers that? From '84. Robert Urich. I enjoy that movie. It's a little schlocky, but it's fun. Doesn't take itself seriously. Much like the 80s. So many great 80s movies. They don't take themselves too seriously. Last of Mohegans. I think I've talked about that in another one, so I won't linger on it. Yeah, The Messenger. This Joan of Arc movie. I recently rewatched that. I really liked it at the time, but I rewatched it. It's not that great. It doesn't do justice. If you're going to tell Joan of Arc's story, you got to do it justice. You can't goof around. Possibly the greatest human being to ever live, Joan of Arc. So you can't be try to do some smart little stuff with it. You got to do justice to Joan the maid. Just checking for some other fun movies. Pink Cadillac with Bernadette Peters. Come on, folks. She's the reason to watch that. Clint's always good. Poetic Justice. I've talked about that in another one. Great movie, in my opinion. Holds up, too. Just rewatched it a few months ago. Lots of movies, more than we're used to. Oh, that's not Taps, it's Tap. That's weird. Oh, that's the Gregory Hines. Yeah, he's an excellent tap dancer. Trekkies. I think I've seen that. All right. X-Men, the 2000 movie. Check out these back ads. This is different. Weird little 1-900 numbers and stuff. Kind of strange. Got some horoscopes. Still got the crossword. That's cool. 2001. Spielberg shark movie. I believe that'd be Jaws. Anybody remember Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles? Kind of not great. I mean, the first two are great. And this one was made much later. It was made 10 years later or something. So, but yeah, the first two were awesome. All right, folks, we jumped the shark and we went to 2001. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.